My name is Tanja Lorentzon, and I'm an actor at Dramaten, and I have the honor to talk to Maja Zade and Tilman Strauss and Julie Böller. Welcome up on the stage, please. Are you ready? So, I will start with a question to Maja Zade. What have we seen here today? Is this the play, Miss Julie?
Well, yes, I think so. I mean, it's up for you to decide, but obviously it is Miss Julie told from Kristin's perspective, I would say. But you still get the whole play.
But how did you get the idea to do this in Kristin's perspective?
Well, it's a longer story. I mean, Katie Mitchell started doing these film projects a couple of years ago, and we knew that when we asked her to come and work at the Schaubühne that we wanted a film project. And then we thought about what kind of material we should give her. And before she'd kind of done prose, short stories or fiction, and we thought maybe it's interesting if she does an actual play this time. And we also knew that she's really interested in putting women at the center of a performance, and that's very important to her, and also showing people who are in a moment of crisis. So that's kind of how we came up with Miss Julie. And then I met Katie and proposed the play, and the first thing she said was, "Oh, I love Miss Julie, but of course we'll do it from Kristin's perspective." But I should probably also say that we've been talking about Miss Julie for a couple of years at the Schaubühne, but we couldn't quite find a way to do it without it being completely historical. Because of course the class system has completely changed, and also the problems between men and women are very different now. But still they're great roles, but we couldn't quite find a way in, and we thought that if Katie does one of her film projects, we will have all the modern technology, and we could also have the historical aspect. So that was kind of a way into the play for us.
And why did you choose Inger Christensen, the Danish poet?
Well, we weren't going to have extra text originally, but as we started working, we realized, because of course, since it's told from Kristin's perspective, you have to take away a lot of the text. So there's actually about 20% left, and we did need another level. I mean, yes, there's the music, but it felt like it needed something else. And we thought about a lot of stuff. Initially, we thought we would put some texts written at the same time about the discovery of the subconscious and beginnings of psychoanalysis. So we read a lot of stuff, but it seemed like too much of a commentary, a kind of knowing commentary on the play. So in the end, we decided, no, well, maybe it should be a modern text. And then we thought, well, maybe it would be really interesting to have a text by a modern Scandinavian woman to partly kind of make it more modern, but also to make a contrast with Strindberg. And then we looked at various Scandinavian women writers. We looked at some prose as well, but that became difficult because it told too much of a story that interfered with what you were seeing on stage. So in the end, we decided on poetry, and then fairly quickly found Inger Christensen, which I think, or we felt, kind of worked because it's very ordered, very mathematical, kind of regular, but also has this kind of very lush nature quality. And it could be something that Kristin is thinking, but it could also be another level that comes in and out of the play. And basically by experimentation we arrived at being a Christensen.
And can I ask Tilman a question? This is a production with very advanced technology. Can you please try to describe what is happening on the stage during this performance? How do you do it?
Yeah, well, you saw it. It's in the end, it's quite like a dance. It's like a choreography. But it was frightening in the first place because the show was kind of pre-produced in London for a couple of weeks, and they came to us with kind of a storyboard, and we entered the rehearsal stage for the first time and saw the set. And there were like over 500 marks on the floor, and there was 5 cameras standing around. It was kind of crazy. Nobody of us could really imagine what it would be like. Well, we worked hard and figured it out. But it's sometimes it's like kind of a trance, and it's really an extraordinary experience, because we really have to do it together. Everybody has the same importance, and if it doesn't work together, it doesn't work at all. And it's also beautiful because it feels like 10 minutes, because you're always in action. It's like, and it's over.
But in the beginning, as an actor, was it just joyful, or was it like you wanted to smash the technology after a while? Or
no, I kind of liked the technology, but after I don't know, almost a week, I was like, when am I supposed to act? Because I enter, quite late, as you might have recognized. So I was really looking forward for the moment, and it was over pretty fast, and I had to get back to the technology. But now I'm able to handle cameras, which is pretty nice as well.
But I wonder, when I see it, it's like I want to know who is following whom. Who is the cue master? Who is? How do you know when to change the task?
Yeah, most of it is just training, repetition, but we've got like, I don't know, 10 monitors all over the stage where we have to follow what is happening, and so it really has to work together, but because we have Funk, I don't know if he's here, he does the cutting, and he's sitting there and pressing the button every time when the next pictures come. It's really weird, because it's like, he has like, I don't know, 600 cues for the show, and but it just has to work together.
But can you have a cue in your ear? Can I say like, no, you're late, you have to do it now?
No.
No, he gives me the cues. Go.
You
Yeah, we all cue each other. It's like, go, out, in, like, yeah.
Or not Louise and all people said to me all the time, go, out, in, go, out. I can't
See the
the monitor.
Okay. Are you handling a camera?
No.
At any point? No.
We actually had some bets running on that topic. If she would handle the camera in the show.
But Julie, can I ask you, how do you stay in character? Because you're running between places where you're acting. How do you keep focus during the show?
Du musst so wahnsinnig schnell viel rumrennen und so viel wechseln und so, wie bleibst du quasi drin und so, wie bleibst du so viel?
Ich muss auf Deutsch sagen.
Yes, you will take it in Deutsch and then we translate.
Wir befinden uns ja alle in so im Tanz, und ich bin ein Teil dessen, genauso wie alle anderen auch. Das heißt, ich habe meine Aufgaben Step by Step, spielen, irgendwo was schrauben, weiterspielen, wieder irgendwo was schrauben und dann wieder weiterspielen. Und das braucht eine Konzentration, die immer mit den anderen verbunden. Das heißt, wenn Tillmann da steht, dann stehe ich da, und da kann man nicht mehr nachdenken. Aber was ich versuche, ist immer alles aus den Gedanken der Figur zu machen, damit ich nicht sozusagen so ins Bild hüpfe. Also ich mache auch alle technischen Sachen als Kristin.
Could you translate, or Maja?
Because
I don't know.
It's just really as I said, it's a dance, and we all are dancing it, and you don't really have the chance to focus on anything else because you're busy all the time. And she's like trying to stay in. She's trying to do everything, all the technical things out of the figure, out of Kristin, to not lose it. So she always stays in the figure, also if she's doing technical things.
Are you also staying in character because you're running a lot on the stage and you're handling the camera quite often? How do you work?
It's a strange mixture because at a certain point it just becomes one. It doesn't matter. Yeah. In the beginning, I'm sometimes wondering about it when I have to do some technical things in there, and I'm like, maybe right now I am the servant who's doing anything, or I don't know, but it just happens. Because it's really so many things to do that you can't focus, you can't think. It's also those small parts of acting I've got in between. It's really like you haven't got any chance. You're just doing something, sitting down, blah, 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 saying any text, getting up, doing the next thing, so pretty easy.
What did you say?
Yeah, well, we had kind of trouble today because of the air conditioning. In the kitchen, it was really windy. I don't know if you saw it, but the candles almost went off. It was really like, and Julie was always busy with lighting up any candles and lights again because they were blown off.
And all the time, the cleaner, the cleaner, out.
Always whispering to our troubleshooter, like, shut up! So, well, sometimes you have to concentrate on something else.
Because I noticed that you were setting the table in the end
yeah.
and having lines
Yeah.
to Kristin at the same time.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah, because you haven't got any chance. You're doing anything with like the water inside here, and have to say something, you know, like nine. It's really like, you know, you can't think about it, so it's pretty, yeah, I like it.
Yes. But I wonder, do you think, I have a question for Maja. Do you think that this way of doing Miss Julie is making a distance to the play, or is it a way to come closer to it? Is it like a Fremdung effect, or is it both? What do you think? What is the response from the audience that you have heard?
I think, well, it's interesting that even people who don't know the play seem to kind of get it. I mean, we were a little bit concerned that perhaps we were kind of doing an exercise in textual interpretation of Miss Julie, and maybe it was like the real theatre specialists. But that doesn't seem to be the case, and I think it's just an exploration of one aspect. And to me, I think the great mystery of the play, what is Kristin thinking? Is she really sleeping? When she's sleeping, what was Strindberg thinking about her? And to me, it's just interesting, and to Casey as well, to kind of, you know, she also stands for a character that's outside of history a little bit, you know, the insignificant person who watches great events take place, and you're always wondering, what do those people make of those events? And it's sort of an exploration of that.
But if you would think about the technique, the way that we are looking sometimes almost at a wall, but we're seeing a picture, a movie up there. Is it a way to? Sometimes I feel like I'm really outside the house as an audience. It's like you don't notice if I'm there or if I'm not, but in another way, I'm just in the same room. Do you understand what I mean? What do you think about that, Tilman?
I don't know. I would like to see it one time.
But what have you had? What kind of response do you?
Well, there's different response, but I think it's really in between because, of course, on one hand, because of all the technical stuff, it's really making a distance. On the other hand, you're much closer than you ever were if it were a play on stage, you know, because of the screen. So this is kind of fascinating to me, and one of the reasons why I really would like to see it, but I can't. Yeah, and of course, Julie says those two worlds, which are really like crushing into each other, the historical one and the modern one, the technical one.
Yes. Do we have any questions from the audience? I will help you with the microphone if you want to. Yes?
Haven't they made a permanent recording of the finished film, as it were, so you could look at it?
Yes. Yeah, well, actually it's recorded every time because we have to, not all of us, but our assistant director has to watch it every time and look for mistakes, so we have to talk about it the next time, have to correct the things which went wrong. But we saw it, yeah.
And
Well, Julie doesn't know how it looks. Well, in the first moment I was really fascinated because I never see it, and I was sometimes like, oh, well, they can't see me in that moment. I'm acting all the time. Why do I act? Because I'm not in the frame. On the other hand, I don't know if it would work as film, you know, in a cinema. I think it needs all the stuff around. So, yeah, but I liked it. I saw it and I really liked it because I never really knew how it looked.
Actually, Katie Mitchell was here 2 weeks ago and had the talk in Lejonkulan, and we asked her if it could be a movie, and she said, no, this is not a movie. It would be a really bad movie. Because she says, this is theater. This is absolutely theater. But that's my next question for Julie. Are you as an actor acting like a theater acting, or are you thinking film acting?
I have to sing film, but my face is so close, I can't sing theater.
And you, Tilman? Have you ever thought about it?
Well, of course, in those acting moments, it is film. Yeah, of course it is. But
To play
it's,
is film, but
acting is
other
film.
things is theater.
Yes. Do we have another question? Yes, please.
I just wondered how long the process of rehearsing all this coordination was. And the second one, which is maybe quite a big question about the sounds and the synchronized sounds, when this came into the picture, or does Kate Mitchell always worry about that?
We didn't have a lot of time. We had like 4 weeks, and as I said, it was pre-produced. So I think the last 2 weeks we were really 7 days a week rehearsing 10 hours a day to get it done. But it really was not much, and we changed a lot from the screenplay they brought. And the other thing is, it was clear from the beginning that it would be with the Foley sound and stuff. We had like specialists, Foley specialists, who were like training with our wonderful Foley artists over there. One of them is actually our assistant director, so I don't know if she's here. She does an incredible job. Yeah, that was clear from the beginning. I think it wouldn't be able to you know, like get it in later.
And Maja, maybe you can answer if Katie used to work like this?
Do you mean doing film or
Doing this mixed, this
Yeah.
sound?
Well, yes, I mean, the aim is to produce a film live on stage, so because of that, you can't pick them up for the right quality with the microphones if you held it into the set, so you do have to have Foley artists doing it.
But she also told us that she did a performance, the Virginia Woolf play, The Waves.
The Waves, yeah.
And this was the beginning of this work with the sounds. And now she said this is a forecasting to the next production that she's going to do. And there will be mainly sound. If this is 70% film, that will be 70% sound. And I think we have another question over there.
I just wonder if you actors hear the music while you're playing, because the music was very suggestive to listen, and I think it helped me to, in a special feeling. I was like in a, like a skruvstäd.
Maja, help us. Skruvstäd.
Okay.
Sie sind ein Schraubstoff, mich auch manchmal.
Yeah, well, this is actually a big topic for us because the sound, it's really hard to monitor all the sounds on stage. And it's different on every stage. In this particular room, it's really hard to, because we hear it, yeah, and we want to hear it. And we also want to hear ourselves talk and all that stuff. We want to hear everything because it really helps to stay in the rhythm.
Yeah.
But it is pretty difficult every time when we are on tour or changing rooms because of course they all sound different, and it's really every time we really have to try and rehearse and you know, with all our lovely technicians up there to find out the right balance for everybody, because we want to hear it. Yeah, it's important to stay in the rhythm, to be able to dance.
Yes, please.
Yes, I was wondering about the pre-production discussions about the relation between Kristin and the father, who is now not in the play, but in the written play there's a big importance for John and so on. So I wonder why you took him totally away, the father.
Julie's father?
Julie's father.
Julie's father.
Yeah.
Yes.
Julie's father.
Well, mainly just to kind of focus the conflict between those three is a very simple answer, rather than bring in another character. Just especially at the end, we kind of tried to make it as dramatic as possible, so we stripped away as much as possible, and that's why.
Can you tell us about your, it was such a lovely story about these cable rehearsals that you had. Yes, I would take it, could you just tell us about the rehearsing process with this work?
Yeah, because of the fact that you only do small parts in the beginning, and it takes really long to really able to play like long parts, you know. It's really Frickelarbeit, as we say in Germany. At some point, we had to figure out how to you know, like organize the cables to not get stuck anyway. So we had really to have a plan for the preset, and you have to watch it during the whole show that there are no nuts or anything else in it. So we had really to figure out for hours how to lay those cables on the stage.
Cables
This is one
with cameras.
So there are a lot of, not only cameras, there are also microphones and those little lights and stuff. There are all cables which can't get, like, you know,
Tangled.
tangled.
Kate
I've got a drawing.
they were having like hours and hours cable rehearsals. Cable 1 is going, and cable 2, cable
Camera
3 is
4,
going, number
camera
4.
5, and then around, and you know, but getting crazy. Yeah.
Did you have a question?
Yeah. Vielen Dank für dieses schöne Schauspiel. Is it a coincidence that Schaubühne is the only theater that is performing Swedish plays during this festival? Could you repeat that?
Well,
Yes, we will repeat the question first. Is it a coincidence that Schaubühne is the only theater that are playing Swedish plays during this festival?
Well, we didn't invite ourselves, so in a way the festival director would have to answer that. But we have done Last Marine continually, you know, the first show we showed in the festival, Demons, when Thomas Ostermeier became artistic director for Schaubühne 13 years ago. We opened with Personkrets. So we kind of have a history with Scandinavian drama, but otherwise it's, I don't know, because they like our shows.
Alter Schwede.
Alter Schwede.
Do we have another question? Yes?
Yes, I was just wondering how much material is pre-recorded? Some of the sound certainly is pre-recorded, right? And do you ever reuse any of the imagery that you record during your different...
So how much is pre-recorded, and some of the sounds are...
Yeah.
Some of the sounds are, but nothing of the pictures are all live. Everything.
I think that was a challenge, just to do as much as possible live, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
of course. It was clear from the beginning that the film would be completely live, and we of course had to and of course the cello is live. Chloe, our cello player up there, is live. But all the like atmospherical sounds and stuff is like played in.
But what happens... Oh, sorry. Yes?
Well, just as a follow-up though, but I mean, one of the consequences of using so much technology is it prompts doubt, right? It's impossible to sit and not it's interesting as an audience member to have that, but to disbelieve different points, go, well, I can't see it, so why should I trust that it's even being played recorded behind that wall?
Yeah.
So it looks like it's not very constant.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting question because we try to lay as much of it open and bare as possible for the audience so you can see it. But with some of it, it's simply, we had a discussion about it only this morning, for example, when Kathleen, who also plays Kristin, is walking in the grass. She's actually behind the Foley artist, so you can't see it, unfortunately, just because our space was too narrow. So right at the end, basically, of the rehearsal process, we tried to move as much of stuff we were recording maybe at the back or at the side to the front, so you could see it, but we didn't succeed with all of it.
And what do you do if something goes wrong? What happens with the performance? Because it must be quite fragile with this technique.
Yeah, it happens quite often. And what you would have heard tonight was stop, and then everything is like stop, and we're looking for the mistake. And yeah, most of the time it gets fixed. Till now, it always got fixed, and then it goes on.
But you stop like 2 minutes or like 10 minutes or?
It's different. Most of the times it's like a couple of minutes, but we also had like bigger problems when we had to stop for 10 minutes, which is not really helpful because people are getting impatient. But it happens, yeah.
But how often is it, like every fifth time or?
Yeah, approximately, I would say.
Oh, we were lucky. Okay, we have time for one more question, I think. Yes, please.
I think this performance changed a very theatrical play to a poetic documentary. I mean, this taking away the father of Julie and that's very much left. And of course, you can say that this was the way it was. Kristin and Jean and Julie had to talk about the father because they knew already of it. Because, I mean, Strindberg has written very much dialogue for us, not for them. For example, I mean, this change is for a documentary. Is this a way to continue to make documentaries from theatrical plays?
Well, I don't think you can really call it a trend or a development. I mean, it's an experiment we did with one play. You know, I mean, we obviously won't do the same thing. You know, we're not going to do Othello next and do it from the Muna's perspective, you know. But I mean, of course, I take your point. You're completely right, of course, that you know, you're stripping away the major dramatic scenes of the play. But you are replacing it with something different, with a subjective view, which you don't normally get to view in theatre. So, I mean, I think it's a matter of taste whether you like that or you miss the kind of traditional.
Can I ask a question for the actors on the same topic? How do you do, Tilman, especially you that only have a few scenes, how do you keep your role together? How do you make a consistent role when you're just having small parts? I mean, from the beginning, and then suddenly you're in the end scene and you're totally in it. How do you work as an actor? Do you miss the missing text, missing parts?
Well, yes, it was strange in the beginning, but it's, yeah, like almost always the same answer. You're under a big tension all the time. And of course, you really have to know, and that was Katie's job, as you might figure out, to tell us at which level you have to go into those scenes. It works, because I think it would be a problem if I would just wait behind the stage for my next entry and had to play it like without being there or without having to do anything. But as it is really like one flow, the whole thing, for me or for everybody, it feels quite natural.
Okay, thank you very much. We give them a
Får inte så jag är här. Vilken både
Yes, of course. Just give me the chance to guess.